Pioneers are explorers. Pioneers are innovators. Pioneers are leaders. We are Marietta College. We are pioneers. Find out how you can become a PIO at www.marietta.edu.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, man in Columbus faces an attempted aggravated murder charge.
And former CEO of Columbus Zoo and Aquarium forced to repay hundreds of thousands of dollars.
We'll have these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Haley Lanham.
And I'm Cole Longcore.
Topping our news this afternoon, authorities say a man shot and wounded by police who said he was firing at vehicles along a busy stretch of Interstate 71 in Ohio will face an attempted aggravated murder charge. Columbus police said drivers reported that someone on the side of the road next to the car was firing at northbound vehicles in Delaware County shortly before 10 a.m. Friday. Authorities said at least 3 vehicles were hit. A police spokesperson said the man was taken to the hospital in critical condition but was later said to be stable. An officer was also taken to a hospital with an unrelated injury.
A former CEO has agreed to repay hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium after audits concluded that improper spending and questionable business practices cost the institution more than $630,000. The zoo's board of directors on Friday announced approval of a settlement with former CEO Thomas Stauff for $400,000 with an August 2021 forensic audit said he received inappropriately. The Columbus Dispatch reports that Stauff's attorney said he agreed to pay back the money so that he could move forward with his life, but alleged that his client was made a scapegoat.
What's the weather look like out there today?
Here to provide us with a first look at today's weather is Landon Santini.
What can we expect, Landon?
Well, after the rather snowy and cold end to our recent spring break, we're finally warming up again with an expected high of 58. Right now it feels like 56 outside with very cloudy conditions. With the UV index says that today's air quality is very good with a moderate level of 3 with a relatively low pollen count due to the lack of rain we've had today. The winds were going to be running around the southwest at 9 miles per hour. The humidity is roughly 40%, so relatively comfortable, though not scorching hot. And we've got a very close to mirror parallel of sunrise and sunsets today, both occurring roughly around 7:30 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. later on this evening. So things are definitely warming up here in the Middle Ohio Valley as we've now all returned to the lovely campus of Marietta College after our no doubt relaxing, fun, and invigorating spring break. And as we get closer and closer to the end of the month, things will hopefully be getting a little bit warmer. But how much will that happen? We'll talk about that a little bit later on when I come back for the 5-day forecast. So until then, back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Landon. Coming up, authorities say a crash in Ohio over the weekend killed 4 men and critically injured 2 other people. The Ohio State Highway Patrol said a car heading south in Clark County's Moorfield Township collided with another car heading west just after 11 p.m. on Saturday. 3 men in the first car and a 50-year-old man in the other car were pronounced dead at scene. The Highway Patrol said authorities said 43-year-old woman and youth from the westbound car were flown to Miami Valley Hospital in critical condition. The crash remains under investigation.
Dolly Parton has announced that she is pulling out of this year's nominations for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, saying that she has not earned that right. The music icon, who has been inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, explained her decision in a statement posted on her official social media pages on Monday, noting she did not want to take votes away from remaining nominees. Parton was named on the shortlist last month alongside fellow first-time nominees Eminem, Lionel Richie, Duran Duran, and A Tribe Called Quest.
Coming up, updates from Ukrainian-Russian conflict.
And other international news. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones, and the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
The head of Kharkiv Regional Administration stated that one person was killed and another seriously injured after multiple strikes hit the city of Kharkiv on Monday during Ukrainian evacuation. The administration said there were 65 instances of shelling against the city on Monday alone, and that fighting was going on in 3 of the towns in Kharkiv. Kharkiv's mayor said Monday, 600 residential buildings in the city had been completely destroyed in Russian attacks since the start of the war.
The Karnataka High Court upheld a ban on the hijab in educational institutions in the state and dismissed the set of petitions filed by a group of female Muslim students. The judgment read out by the Chief Justice of the court also concluded that the measure of school uniforms and reasonable restriction constitutionally permissible, with which the students cannot object to. The state of Karnataka was disrupted by days-long protests earlier this year after multiple schools and colleges prohibited young girls and women from wearing a hijab, citing that as not part of official school uniforms.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention added one new destination, the Indian Ocean Islands nation of Mauritius, to the highest risk category for travel on Monday. The weekly travel risk level also dropped 9 other destinations down 1 rung from level 4. The CDC places destination at level 4 COVID-19 risk very high, when more than 800 cases per 100,000 residents are registered in the past 28 days. Last week, Hong Kong, New Zealand, and Thailand were added to level 4.
The United Kingdom government wants to encourage people to help Ukrainian refugees. As an initiative, anyone in Britain who opens their home to a refugee can receive more than $450 per month. Sponsors must put up refugees for a minimum of 6 months and be vetted. The Homes for Ukraine initiative is open to everyone arriving in Britain from Ukraine. They will also get access to health care and employment opportunities.
Coming up next, International Space Station Spacewalk for 2022 taking place today.
We'll also get the latest news from Hollywood.
And as the temperatures warm up throughout the week, we'll find out later on this weekend if we start getting the earliest of our April showers. Stay tuned for the extended forecast.
Where are we?
We are at Marietta College.
This is where we live, at Marietta College.
When kids need medical care, they face life-changing experiences. They miss out on the things that make being a kid fun. Starlight Children's Foundation programs entertain and inspire hospitalized kids. Learn more at starlight.org.
Marietta, a place some people call home.
A place of athletes.
A place of discovery.
A place for the future.
Your plan.
Your future.
Go Pios.
The first International Space Station spacewalk for 2022 is taking place today, Tuesday. NASA says astronauts Caleb Barron and Raja Chari stated installations shortly after 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Their spacewalk is expected to last nearly 7 hours. Barron and Chari will assemble and install modification kits that will make future solar array upgrades possible outside of the space station. This comes as the clock is ticking on the ISS, which will be retired at the end of the decade.
A gallon of gas costs more than it ever has. On Monday, the average gas price for a gallon of gas was $4.32. Although the U.S. barely uses Russian oil, Moscow's invasion of Ukraine is still a major factor. Russia is one of the world's biggest oil suppliers, and lower supply affects global prices, which means price increases won't be stopping anytime soon. Lauren Fix from Car Coach Reports has 3 easy tips to help you save money. Number 1, if you're in park, turn your car off. Don't leave it running. Number 2, travel light, get all heavy items or unnecessary needs out of your car. And number 3, keep your car in good shape so you get good mileage.
50-year-old U.S. documentary filmmaker Brent Renaud has died in Ukraine. The New York Times, citing Ukrainian officials, say Russian forces killed Renaud in Irpin, on the outskirts of Russia on Sunday. Ukraine officials say another journalist was wounded in the attack. Renaud spent 20 years making documentaries and won the Peabody Award and 2 Columbia DuPont Awards. His work includes Dope Sick Love and Off to War. Today's entertainment news included a new way to watch a family favorite and musical tribute to President of Ukraine.
Here's Landon Santini with our Hollywood Minute.
Thanks, guys. Well, today's entertainment news includes a new way to watch a new family favorite. Yes, that's right. Even if you don't talk about Bruno, you can still sing along with Encanto. Disney Plus is launching sing-along versions of this and other Disney musicals featuring on-screen lyrics. The series will begin with the award-winning Encanto this Friday. In other news, The Last Mountain tells the story of a mother and son mountain climbers, Allison Hargreaves and Tom Ballard, Both were elite climbers who met their fates in the Himalayas at almost the same age, 3 decades apart. The unprecedented documentary, filmed over the course of 25 years, is available now on digital and video on demand. And finally, that's beautiful, isn't it? A musical tribute to the president of Ukraine, John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, has released the song Can One Man Save the World, dedicated to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Ondrasik calls Zelensky a modern-day Winston Churchill and says he's in awe of the leader, his wife, and the Ukrainian people. Can One Man Save the World is now available on all digital platforms. In Hollywood, I'm Landon Santini.
Thanks for the look at Hollywood, Landon.
Now it's time to hear our extended forecast, so back to the weather wall.
Well, as you can see, unlike what's going on in the Ukraine, unfortunately, we don't really have very much storms brewing, save for a little patch of rain up towards the northern area of the lovely Buckeye State of Ohio in terms of Lake Erie. As you can see, there's certainly a lot more of storms brewing towards the southern end of the state, going past Louisiana, heading into northwestern Florida. And as we return to our little neck of the woods of the Mid-Ohio Valley, you can see that we are having a relatively calm day today. So this is a good pre-spring weather. Now, as we take a look at how the rest of our week will pan out in the 5-day forecast, tomorrow the temperatures are going to climb a little bit higher with partly cloudy conditions and an expected high of 72, low of 37. So warm days, some chilly nights. Continuing on into Thursday, it'll get slightly cooler with cloudy conditions, an expected high of 66 and a low of 48. But as we start climbing into the weekend, some of the temperatures will start going down as we begin experiencing a 50% chance of rain with an expected high of 69, continuing on into Saturday with an expected high of 56 and an even greater chance of rain at 60%. And finishing off the week with things will calm down again after that huge bout of rain with an expected high of 60, low of 37, and partly cloudy conditions. So looks like we're going to have a pretty warm and dry week for the most part, which some might see as a refresher considering the very heavy snowfall we got this past weekend. But we're going to be getting precipitation of a different kind as we come to this next weekend. So have your umbrellas ready if you have any weekend plans, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when I come back later on at the end of the program. So until then, enjoy your first full week of spring, and back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Landon. When we come back, Marissa Milham will have the latest in Marietta College sports.
Stay with us.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Marietta College, home of the pioneers. A small town on the Ohio River with a tight-knit community and tons of opportunity. Find a home here at Marietta College. Bring forth a pioneer.
What are we gonna do? Ta-da! All right. Come on, every pony. Woo!
Liza, I just love how ponies are better together.
Me too. You know, same thing with Girl Scouts, Kamiko. Every day they make each other shine a little brighter.
And they make the world around them a better place. So join Girl Scouts.
And be a part of the friendship and magic.
And now we're back with Marissa for a look at sports.
From what I've heard, it's been quite the week at Marietta. So what do you have for us, Marissa?
You're right, and I have the rundown. Two sellouts at Van Johnson Arena on the campus of Marietta College happened over the weekend. The team was victorious with wins over Oswego State and Christopher Newport to reach the Final Four, the first time in school history they will be competing in Fort Wayne. They're set up to face off against Randolph-Macon, who is one of the two losses of the regular season for the Pioneers. They're set to face off at 5 p.m. in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Marietta College softball team traveled to Florida over spring break in the Spring Games tournament. The team split for the week, winning 4 games and losing 4 as well, but they also had 2 games postponed. They scored a total of 45 runs for the week and had 2 games where they only lost by 1 run. After a solid week in Florida, the Pioneers are back at home at Marietta Field, facing off against Bethany College Sunday at 1 o'clock for a doubleheader. The Edda Express had a great showing in Florida with the Snowbird Classic. They appeared in 8 games, winning 7 of them. They earned a total of 63 runs for the whole week, compared to their opponents with only 35 runs. The Edda Express returns into action tomorrow at Washington and Jefferson with first pitch at 4 p.m. The Marietta College women's lacrosse team also had a solid start to their season, and they are 5-0 currently. They had a win over Hanover over spring break, and they also had a win over North Carolina Wesleyan College, and they won 14-3. The Pios return to action tomorrow at Marietta Field against Washington and Jefferson as well, and that's going to be at 6 o'clock. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Marissa. Now joining us at the desk is Landon for the last look at the weather.
All right, to sum things up, after the rather snowy weekend we had to end spring break, it looked very beautiful but was also very cold. We've now warmed things up again as we've gotten into this lovely week, but it's going to be getting a different kind of precipitation coming into this next weekend with a 50 to 60% chance of rain over Friday and Saturday before calming down again on Sunday. So when the precipitation, whether it's snow or rain or sleet, along with it usually comes a drop in temperatures, a cooling down of sorts. So we're going to be kind of fluctuating in the temperatures for the next couple of weeks, though not nearly as drastically as we were this past weekend. It's very beautiful outside, very lovely, but it's absolute hell if you've got weather-related allergies, but it's very beautiful nonetheless. What are you guys looking forward to doing now that I think it's safe to say at this point we're past the last of the bit of snow we have to deal with until the next winter?
Yeah, hopefully we're done with snow, but that's kind of March for you, in like a lion out like a lamb. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to see. Hopefully that'll be it, and temperatures warming up a little bit as we get into spring.
I'm already looking for spring. I already got my spring nails done, got the Easter colors going on.
And might I say, they look very lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, that is it for today's broadcast. Thank you for watching. We hope you will join us Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12:30 and 6:30 for WCMO NewsCenter 15, Marietta College Broadcasting. See you next time.